One of my favorite things in this office is this hourglass. Sometimes I sit and just stare at it, and it's so fascinating to me because you can actually watch time running out. And I think sometimes, what if our life was like this? What if you could see the time running out of your life? What if you could see the end coming? What will we do? As I was thinking and praying about this year's Crosswild Spring Retreat, I began to think about life. The lives that we live, the life that I live, the life that you live. And most importantly, what am I doing with the time that I've been given in this life? And I went to the book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 16. When Paul tells us this, he says, make sure we don't walk around like fools, but walk around like people who are wise, and that we are redeeming the time on this earth because the days are evil. Are we wasting our time here? What do we do with the time that God has given us? Are we taking advantage of the time that we have in school, in our life, in our homes, and everywhere around us? Or are we just kind of living life as fools, as Paul said, not walking in wisdom? And so as I searched the scriptures and as I thought about the theme of this camp, our goal as Crosswild is that you would leave this camp thinking about what you're doing with your time, the time that God has given you, taking advantage of the time that God has given you, living your life in a way that redeems the time, as Paul says in Ephesians 5, verse 16. It reminded me of a book I read a long time ago. And it was about this guy who was caught up into heaven, and he had the opportunity while he was there to go and meet all the great men and women of the Bible. And he was walking around, and one person stood out in his mind in particular, and it was the Apostle Paul. And he said, that's the Apostle Paul. I'm so excited. I want to go meet him. And he nervously approached the Apostle Paul and he said, Apostle Paul, you're so amazing. I read everything you've done in the scriptures. You've been such an encouragement to me. I look up to you so much. And the Apostle Paul looked back at him and said something I didn't expect. The Apostle Paul said, you've also been an encouragement to me, and I also look up to you. And he was amazed that Apostle Paul would say that. Why would you say that, Apostle Paul, he said. He says, Apostle Paul said, because I did what was right in the time that was given to me. I did the best I could in the time that I lived. And now you got to do the best you can in the time that you're given. I lived my time, and now you get to live your time. And you get to do so much greater than I even was able to. And so the guy left encouraged, and he left so excited, and it just made me think, the time that we live in right now, this is our window. This is our time to change the world. This is our time to make a difference. This is our time to do something that can last for eternity. And so what we want you to realize and what you understand is that there's no more excuses. There's no more reasons not to move forward. That now is our time. It's time. It's time to be what God has called you to be. It's time to be who God has called you to be. It's time to make a difference. It's time to change the world. It's time to change the world. That's what God has called you to do. Our online registration is going to start today. Whether you want to be a participant or a leader, make sure you go online to livetolife.org or crosswild.com and get signed up. Also, something different we're going to have this year is we're going to have middle and high school retreats. So make sure if you're in 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, you sign up for the middle school retreat. And if you're in 9th through 12th grade, sign up for the high school retreat. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a great time, but we want you to leave knowing that it's time for God to use you. What will we do? What will we say? What will we spend our time doing if we realize we had limited time and we realized it would all end one day? What kind of legacy we want to leave? What kind of difference we want to make in this world? These are the things we rarely think about, but our life is a lot like this hourglass, and we have limited time. What are we going to do with it? The time that's been given us.
Hallelujah.